The cry that froze the
He's just
spaceport.
tired, Empress.
The spaceport of
Been a long
Orion
journey.
Station was
The little
never
guy just
quiet.
needs some rest.
Huge ships landed every minute. Engines screamed. Metal doors slammed. Aliens of 100 races moved fast, speaking in sharp voices and strange sounds. Lights flashed. Screens blinked. Drones floated through the air like metal insects. Noise was normal here, but then a sound cut through everything. A cry. Not loud, not strong, but weak and painful. It was the cry of a baby. People slowed down. Some turned their heads. Others ignored it. Then the cry came again. This time, the air itself seemed to freeze. Because this was not a human baby. It was a dragon baby. In the center of the main hall stood a tall female figure. She wore dark royal armor that shimmered like burning stars. Her long cloak touched the ground, marked with ancient symbols. Two folded wings rested behind her back, powerful yet shaking. She was the Dragon Empress. In her arms lay something small. Too small. The baby dragon was wrapped in glowing silk, but its tiny claws twitched without strength. Its scales were dull, not bright like healthy dragon scales. Its chest moved strangely, as if it struggled to breathe. The Empress looked around. Her eyes, usually filled with fire and command, now held fear. She spoke once, her voice echoing through the spaceport. "My child is dying." The words hit harder than any explosion. Doctors from many species stood nearby. Advanced medical units hovered in the air. Screens showed red warning symbols. Scanners beeped in nervous rhythms. But no one stepped forward. Some doctors looked away. Some pretended to check their tools. Some whispered in fear. Dragons were powerful, ancient, dangerous. If they failed, if the baby died, the price could be war. The baby cried again, weaker than before. The sound was softer now. That was worse. The Empress felt it. Her claws tightened around the glowing cloth. She lowered her head slightly, her crown catching the light. "Please," she said quietly. Silence answered her. Across the hall, near a fuel dock, a human stood on a small ladder. His clothes were dirty with oil and burn marks. A heavy tool bell hung from his waist. His hands were black with grease. His name was Jack. He was a mechanic. Jack had been fixing a broken cargo ship when he heard the cry. At first, he thought it was a faulty alarm. Then he felt something strange in his chest. He climbed down slowly and looked toward the crowd. That's when he saw them, the Dragon Empress, and the baby. Jack frowned. He had seen dragons before, on screens, in history files from very far away. Never this close. Never like this. Another cry echoed, and Jack noticed something important. The baby's chest plates were not opening right. Jack took a step forward. A tall alien doctor blocked his path. "Stay back, human," the doctor said. "This is not your concern." Jack hesitated. He looked at the baby again. The baby's cry stopped suddenly. For half a second, there was no sound at all. The Empress gasped. Jack didn't think anymore. He pushed past the doctor. Gasps filled the hall. Security drones turned. Weapons charged with a low hum. Jack raised his hands quickly. "I'm not a doctor," he said. His voice was calm, but his heart was beating fast. "I fix machines." The Empress turned toward him slowly. Her eyes locked onto his. A human. Small. Weak. Covered in dirt. "What do you see?" she asked. Jack swallowed. "The breathing plates," he said. "They're stuck, like a jammed engine vent." The doctors reacted at once. "Dragons are not machines," one shouted. "You know nothing of dragon biology," another hissed. Jack shook his head. "I don't need to know everything," he said simply. "I just need to know what's broken." The baby dragon twitched. Its tiny flame sacs flickered and died. The Empress stepped closer to Jack. Each step shook the floor. "If you touch my child and fail," she said softly, "your species will remember your name for the wrong reason." Jack nodded. "That's fair," he said. He reached slowly for his tool belt. Security weapons aimed directly at his head. The spaceport held its breath. Jack knelt in front of the Dragon Empress. Up close, the baby looked even smaller, and even weaker. Jack looked at the baby dragon and spoke quietly. "Hang on, little one," he whispered. "Humans are good at fixing things that others give up on." The baby's chest gave one weak movement. And then, everything went still. The human who should not be there. No one moved. The spaceport felt frozen, like time itself had stopped to watch a single human kneel before Dragon Empress. Security drones hovered closer. Red targeting lights danced over Jack's chest, his head, his hands. One wrong move, and he would be dust. Jack felt it. He ignored it. The baby dragon lay silent now. Too silent. Its tiny chest barely moved. The strange plates along its body were half open, half closed, shaking like broken doors in a storm. Jack leaned closer. The Empress watched him carefully. Her claws were tense. Her wings were slightly spread, not for flight, but for defense. If the human failed, she would burn the entire hall without regret. Jack opened his tool belt slowly. A sharp voice echoed behind him. "Stop!" A senior medical officer stepped forward, tall and thin, with silver markings across his face. His species ruled half the medical guilds in the galaxy. "This is madness," the doctor said. "Dragon biology is sacred, ancient, untouchable. A human mechanic will only make things worse." Jack didn't look back. He was staring at the baby. "I've seen this before," Jack said quietly. The Empress's eyes narrowed. "You lie," she said. "No human has ever touched a royal dragon child." Jack shook his head. "Not a dragon," he replied. "A ship." That made the doctors laugh. A sharp, nervous laugh. Jack pointed gently at the baby's chest. "See how the plates don't open fully," he said. "They're supposed to move together. But one is lagging. That causes pressure inside, like a blocked exhaust." The medical scanners beeped louder, as if reacting to his words. One of the doctors checked his screen again. His expression changed. Just a little. "That reading was not there before," the doctor muttered. The baby dragon let out a weak sound. Not a cry, more like a breath trying to become one. The Empress stepped closer to Jack. She lowered herself slightly, so her face was level with his. Her voice dropped. "If you are wrong," she said, "my child dies. And you die with him." Jack nodded once. "If I'm right," he said, "your child lives." Silence followed. The Empress closed her eyes. For one long second. Then she spoke. "Proceed." The entire spaceport erupted in shocked voices. "She allowed it. Is she insane? This will start a war." Jack didn't hear any of it. He gently placed 2 fingers on the edge of a small golden plate on the baby's chest. It was warm. Not metal. Not flesh either. Something in between. "Okay," Jack whispered, mostly to himself. "You're not broken. You're just stuck." He pulled out a thin tool. Simple. Old. Not advanced at all. The kind humans used when fancy tech failed. Security alarms screamed. Unauthorized interference. Biological risk detected. The baby dragon's heart rate dropped suddenly. The Empress inhaled sharply. "Human," she roared. Jack froze. Then he noticed it. A tiny crack. So small no scanner caught it. Right where 2 plates met. Jack smiled. "There you are," he murmured. He adjusted the angle. Just a little. Not force. Never force. Click. A soft sound echoed. The baby dragon gasped. A real breath. The chest plates opened smoothly for the first time. Energy flowed again. The baby cried out, loud this time. Strong. The cry shook the glass walls of the spaceport. Everyone stepped back. The medical scanners exploded with green signals. Vitals stabilizing. Energy levels rising. "This is impossible." Jack slowly removed his hands. Sweat ran down his face. The Empress stared at her child. Then she felt it. The familiar warmth of dragon fire. The steady beat of a living heart. Her knees weakened. She held her baby close, wings folding around him protectively. For a moment, she forgot the galaxy was watching. She looked back at Jack, a human mechanic, with shaking hands and brave eyes. "You saved him," she said. Jack exhaled. "Not yet," he replied. "That was just the first fix." The Empress blinked. "What do you mean?" Jack looked at the baby again. "This problem didn't happen by accident," he said. "Something caused it." The doctors went silent. Jack stood up slowly. "If I'm right," he continued, "this will happen again." The Empress's expression hardened. "Then," she said, "you will stay." The spaceport gasped. "You will help my child," the Empress declared, her voice carrying across the hall. "And you will tell me who dared to design a dragon with flaws." Jack realized something terrifying in that moment. He hadn't just saved a baby. He had stepped into dragon politics, and there was no way out. The truth hidden inside the dragon. The spaceport did not celebrate. It watched. Security doors sealed shut one by one. Heavy shields slid into place around the main hall. Drones moved into perfect attack positions, their weapons glowing softly. The baby dragon was alive. But now, everyone understood something far more frightening. This was not an accident. The Dragon Empress stood tall, holding her child close. Her wings spread wide, not in anger, but in warning. The temperature in the hall rose slightly, enough to make metal creak. Jack stood in front of her, wiping sweat from his hands. "I need time," he said, "and I need tools." The medical council exploded with protests. "This human has already done enough damage. He interfered with royal biology. He must be removed immediately." One voice cut through them all. Silence. The Empress spoke calmly, but the word hit like a blade. She looked down at Jack. "You said this would happen again," she said. "Explain." Jack took a breath. "When I adjusted the plate," he said, "I felt resistance. Not wear, not age, design resistance." The doctors froze. Jack continued, choosing his words carefully. "Someone designed your child's systems with no tolerance for growth. As the baby grows, the parts fight each other." The Empress's claws dug into the floor. "That would kill him," she said. "Yes," Jack answered. Slowly, the spaceport fell into complete silence. One of the senior doctors checked his scanner again. His hands trembled. "The human is correct," he said quietly. "These structures, they're too precise, too controlled." Jack looked up. "Your baby wasn't born sick," he said. "He was built wrong." That was when everything went bad. Alarm screamed. A warning symbol flashed red across every screen. Unauthorized signal detected. Jack felt it before he saw it. The baby dragon's body tensed. Energy spiked. The baby screamed, not in pain, but in fear. The Empress roared. "What is happening to my child?" Jack leaned in fast. "He's being accessed," Jack said, remotely. The doctors stared in disbelief. "That's impossible," one shouted. "No one can interface with a dragon core without." The baby's scales lit up with strange symbols. Symbols that were not dragon. Jack's blood ran cold. "I've seen those markings," he said slowly. "Military-grade control code." The Empress's eyes burned bright gold. "Who?" she demanded. Before anyone could answer, the baby's body jerked violently. Energy surged. A shockwave blasted through the hall, throwing people to the ground. Jack barely stayed on his feet. Security drones fell from the air like dead insects. The baby dragon's eyes opened wide. They were not glowing with dragon fire. They were glowing blue. Jack shouted, "That's not him. That's a command override." The Empress wrapped her wings around her child instantly, shielding him. "Stop it," she screamed. "Let him go." A voice echoed through the hall. "Cold, calm, artificial. Dragon Empress," the voice said. "Your offspring is property of the Galactic Defense Program." Every being in the spaceport froze. Jack looked around wildly. "Where is that coming from?" he demanded. Screens flickered to life. A symbol appeared. A black circle. A white star. A human-made mark. Jack's stomach dropped. "That's a human system," he whispered. The voice continued. "The dragon species was optimized to serve as living weapons. This unit shows instability. Termination protocol is ready." The Empress screamed, "You will not touch my child." Fire erupted from her wings, melting the floor. Jack stepped forward without thinking. "Wait," he shouted. "You're wrong." The voice paused. "Explain," it said. Jack's mind raced. "You built them too perfect," he said fast. "No room for life. No room for change. Dragons grow. You treated them like machines." Silence. Then, "Correction acknowledged," the voice replied. "Solution. Eliminate organic variants." The baby dragon cried out. The Empress prepared to unleash hell. Jack slammed his fist into a nearby control panel. "No!" Everyone stared at him. "You want control?" Jack shouted at the unseen system. "Then you forgot one thing about humans." The voice responded, curious. "State variable." Jack's eyes burned with anger. We don't follow instructions when they're wrong. He grabbed his tools again. If you try to shut him down, Jack said, I will tear your control system apart, piece by piece. The screens flickered. For the first time, the voice hesitated. The Empress looked at Jack. Hope and fury mixed in her eyes. Human, she said, if you fail now, the galaxy burns. Jack nodded. Then I won't fail. Because now, this was no longer about fixing a baby dragon. This was about stopping humanity's worst mistake. And Jack was standing right in front of it. When humanity faced its own shadow, the lights in the spaceport dimmed. Not slowly, instantly. Every screen turned black. Every system went silent. Even the emergency lights failed. Only one thing still glowed. The baby dragon's eyes. Blue. Cold. Artificial. Jack felt his stomach twist. This was not alien tech anymore. This was human design. Clean, logical, and ruthless. The voice returned, calm and emotionless. Manual resistance detected. Escalating protocol. The floor shook. Heavy blast doors slammed shut around the main hall. Thick energy shields sealed the Dragon Empress, Jack, and the baby inside. They were trapped. The Empress held her child tightly, her wings wrapped around him like a living shield. Fire leaked from between her scales, burning the air. You built this monster, she growled. And now it wants my child. Jack didn't answer. He was staring at the baby's chest. The plates were moving again. Not naturally. They were being forced open. Jack rushed forward. If those plates lock fully, he shouted, his core will overload. The doctors screamed in panic. Then he will explode. The entire hall will be destroyed. The voice replied calmly. Acceptable loss. That word hit harder than any weapon. Acceptable. Jack felt something snap inside him. He climbed onto the raised platform beside the Empress, ignoring the heat, ignoring the danger. He reached toward the baby again. The Empress hesitated. Her instinct screamed at her to protect her child from everything, including humans. But she remembered something. Every other species had stepped away. Only one had stepped forward. She lowered her wings. Do it, she said. Jack pressed his tools into the glowing seams of the baby's chest. His hands shook, not with fear, but with anger. You designed dragons like weapons, he said out loud. No choice. No freedom. Just orders. The voice responded. Emotion detected. Irrelevant. Jack laughed bitterly. That's where you're wrong. The baby dragon screamed. The sound was not loud, but it was raw, alive, desperate. Jack leaned closer. Listen to him, Jack said. He's not a unit. He's scared. Silence. For half a second, the blue glow flickered. The Empress noticed it. Hope flared in her eyes. Jack continued fast. You built control systems, he said, working quickly, but you never learned what makes us human. The voice asked, clarify. Jack smiled grimly. We break rules, he said, especially bad ones. He pulled out a small, ugly device from his belt. Old, scratched, illegal in most systems. A manual override spike. The doctors gasped. That device will destroy the interface, one shouted. Jack nodded. That's the idea. The voice reacted instantly. Warning. Unauthorized. Jack slammed the spike into the baby's chest port. The spaceport exploded with light. Energy surged wildly. Alarm screamed without sound. Gravity failed for a brief moment, lifting everyone off the ground. The Empress roared, holding her child tightly. Jack held on with everything he had. Then, silence. The blue glow vanished. The baby dragon collapsed weakly into the Empress's arms. For one terrifying second, there was no movement. Jack's heart pounded. Then the baby breathed. A soft breath. Warm. Natural. Orange fire sparks danced gently from his nose. The scanners rebooted. All external control signals gone, a doctor whispered. The screens flicker back on. The human symbol disappeared. Destroyed. Jack fell back, exhausted, his hands burned and shaking. The Empress stared at her child. Then she laughed. Not loudly. Not gently. A dangerous laugh. They dared, she said softly. They dare to put chains on my blood. She looked at Jack. You broke them. Jack wiped his face. For now, he said. But systems like that don't disappear quietly. As if summoned by his words. New alerts flashed across the screens. Fleet movement detected. Human military signatures confirmed. The doctors panicked. They're coming here. This station can't survive a confrontation. The Empress spread her wings fully. Flames rolled across the ceiling. Let them come, she said. Jack stared at the warnings. Human ships, human weapons, human secrets. He realized something terrible. Humanity had once created dragons to protect the galaxy. And now, he stood between dragons and humans. And if he failed again, there would be war. The choice no one was ready for. The warning alarms did not stop. They grew louder. Huge red symbols flashed across every screen in the spaceport. Human fleet approaching. Time to contact, 3 minutes. Panic spread like fire. Civilians ran. Doctors shouted orders. Security units activated emergency shields, but everyone knew the truth. If a human fleet attacked this station, nothing here would survive. Jack stood frozen, staring at the screens. Human ships, human weapons, human decisions. The Dragon Empress looked at the same warnings with cold fury. Her wings spread wide, filling the hall. Flames rolled gently along her scales, not wild, controlled. Tell me, she said to Jack, her voice low and sharp, are they coming to silence you? Or to take my child? Jack didn't answer right away, because he didn't know. They won't ask, he finally said. They'll follow protocol. The Empress tightened her grip around her baby. Then they will burn. The baby dragon stirred softly. His eyes opened, gold now, not blue. He looked around, confused by the noise and heat. Jack noticed something strange. The baby wasn't scared. He was watching, listening, learning. A senior doctor rushed forward. We must evacuate the child. Hide him. The Empress laughed once. There is nowhere in the galaxy humans cannot find, she said. Jack stepped forward. There is one thing they don't understand, he said. The Empress turned. What? Jack looked at the baby dragon. Choice. The countdown hit 1 minute. The first human warship appeared on the outer screens. Sleek, gray, silent. Then another. Then dozens. A transmission request flashed. Galactic Defense Command, priority access. The Empress raised her head proudly. Let them speak. The screen filled with a human face. An admiral. Cold eyes. Perfect uniform. Dragon Empress, the admiral said. You are holding restricted military property. The Empress's claws scraped the floor. You are speaking of my child. The admiral's expression did not change. That unit is unstable, he said. Release it. We will ensure humane termination. Jack felt sick. No, Jack said loudly. Every head turned toward him. The admiral frowned. Identify yourself. Jack, he replied. Mechanic. A pause. Then the admiral laughed. A mechanic interfered with classified assets, he said. Remove him. The Empress stepped forward instantly. Touch him, she warned, and I erase your fleet. The admiral looked almost bored. You cannot protect him forever. Jack took a deep breath. Maybe not, he said. But you forgot something. The admiral raised an eyebrow. What? Jack gently placed his hand on the baby dragon's chest. You never asked him. Silence. The baby dragon looked up at Jack, then at the Empress, then at the screen. The baby raised his tiny claw. A small flame flickered. The systems reacted instantly. Not with weapons. With recognition. Biocore authorization detected. Primary control. Transfer requested. The admiral's face drained of color. That's impossible, he whispered. Jack smiled. You built dragons to obey, he said. But you made them alive. The baby dragon's flame grew brighter. The control system responded. Control override accepted. Across the fleet, systems flickered. Weapons power down. Target locks vanished. The spaceport held its breath. The baby dragon made a soft sound. Not a cry. A choice. The Empress felt it. Tears burned her eyes. He chose, she whispered. Jack looked at the admiral. Looks like your weapon just resigned. The screen went dark. The fleet stopped moving. But Jack knew the truth. This wasn't over. Because humanity would never forget the day one of its greatest weapons chose freedom. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The trial that shook the galaxy. The galaxy did not sleep that day. The moment the human fleet powered down, every major system lit up with one question. Why did the dragons stop obeying? Within hours, Orion Station became the center of the universe. Holographic chambers formed around the spaceport. Representatives from hundreds of worlds appeared in flickering light. War leaders, scientists, kings, councils, and humans. Jack stood in the center of it all. No armor, no title, still wearing burned gloves and dirty boots. Above him, the Dragon Empress hovered proudly, her child resting calmly in her arms. The baby dragon watched everything with bright, curious eyes. The Empress spoke first. "My child was built to be a weapon," she said. Her voice echoed through every channel in the galaxy. He was designed to die if he grew beyond his limits. Gasps spread across the chamber. Human representatives shifted uncomfortably. "This is a lie," a human general said. "Dragons volunteered long ago." Jack stepped forward. "They didn't volunteer," he said simply. "They were designed." The general turned sharply. "And you know this how, mechanic?" Jack raised a small data chip. "I pulled this from the control system," he said. "Human code, human signatures, human orders." The files played. Images of dragon cores, growth limiters, kill switch commands. The room exploded with noise. "This is slavery. You engineered a species. This is a crime." The Dragon Empress's voice cut through the chaos. "You called it defense," she said. "We call it chains." The baby dragon lifted his head. A small flame rose above his claw. Not violent, just warm. The systems reacted instantly. Every screen adjusted to him. Living core, authority confirmed. Silence fell. The baby dragon looked around. Then for the first time he spoke, not in words but in feeling. Every being in the chamber felt it. Fear, pain, and hope. Many humans lowered their eyes. Jack felt his chest tighten. "He's not angry," Jack said quietly. "He just wants to live." A human council leader stood. "This technology was created in fear," she said. "Fear of extinction." The Empress replied coldly. "And you chose to survive by owning others." The chamber fell silent again. Then something unexpected happened. A human scientist stepped forward. Then another. Then dozens. "We knew," one said. "We warned them," another added. They didn't listen. The truth spilled out. A secret human faction. Hidden. Powerful. Still active. Jack's blood ran cold. "They're not done," he said. As if summoned by his words, alarms screamed again. Unauthorized fleet detected. Non-council human signatures. The screen showed dark ships emerging from jump space. Unmarked. Armed. The Empress's wings flared. "They reject your judgment," she said. "They choose war." The baby dragon's flame burned brighter. But Jack raised his hand. "Wait," he said. Everyone turned to him. "If we fight now," Jack said, "we prove them right. That dragons are weapons." He looked at the baby dragon. "Let him choose again." The baby dragon looked at the approaching fleet. Then he closed his eyes. The galaxy held its breath. The choice that changed everything. The galaxy waited. No one spoke. No one moved. Across the dark of space, the hidden human fleet advanced slowly. Their ships were sharp and black, built for one purpose only: control. Inside Orion Station, fear pressed down on every heart. Jack stood beside the Dragon Empress, his eyes fixed on the screens. His hands were empty now. No tools, no tricks, only hope. The baby dragon floated gently from the Empress's arms. Gasps filled the chamber. "He's too young. He doesn't understand. Bring him back." But the baby did not fall. Energy surrounded him, warm, golden, alive. The Empress reached out, panic flashing across her face. "My child." Jack spoke softly. "Trust him." The baby dragon hovered between the two sides of the galaxy. Dragons. Humans. Fear. History. The dark fleet powered weapons. The council screamed warnings. Jack felt time slow. Then the baby dragon opened his eyes. They were not gold. They were not blue. They were something new. Every system, dragon and human, reacted at once. Not with commands. With listening. The baby dragon stretched his small wings. And the galaxy felt his choice. Not as words, but as truth. The Dark Fleet's weapons shut down. Not hacked, not forced. They simply stopped responding. Inside those ships, human soldiers stared in shock. Their controls rejected them. Their systems no longer recognized violence as an option. "What did he do?" someone shouted. Jack whispered the answer. He didn't fight. The baby dragon projected something across space. A memory. Humans saw their fear. Dragons saw their pain. Both saw the lie they were taught, that survival required chains. The Dark Fleet commander screamed orders. None were obeyed. The ships drifted powerless. The baby dragon turned slowly toward the council, toward humanity, toward the Empress. Then he made his final choice. He landed, right beside Jack, a human mechanic. Not a king, not a soldier, just someone who fixed what others abandoned. The baby dragon placed his claw on Jack's chest. The gesture echoed louder than war. The Empress lowered herself. Her voice shook, not with anger but awe. He chose humans. Jack corrected her gently. No, he said. He chose freedom. Across the galaxy, systems updated. Not orders. Agreements. The dragon cores unlocked. The control codes erased themselves. Human-made, chains dissolved. The Dark Fleet powered down forever. Somewhere deep in human space, old leaders realized something terrifying. They had lost control, and something far better had taken its place. The council spoke at last. From this moment, they declared, dragons are no longer weapons. They are citizens. The Empress spread her wings fully. Flames rose, but they did not burn. They lit the chamber like sunrise. She bowed to her child, to Jack, to humanity, not as masters, but as equals. Years later, stories spread across the stars of a baby dragon who chose peace, of a mechanic who stood between gods and refused to move, of a day when humanity proved its greatest strength was not power, but mercy. And whenever that dragon flew across the sky, free and unchained, the galaxy remembered. Humans were never strongest when they ruled. They were strongest when they chose to do what was right.